Good day, everyone. Welcome to Real Conservative News. I'm your host, Nathaniel Rajkumar. Starting off locally here in Trinidad and Tobago, former Prime Minister Keith Rowley, or as I call him, Emperor Thanos Rowley, the retired Emperor Thanos Rowley, the destroyer of Trinidad and Tobago, launched a sharp critique against Prime Minister Kamla Persad-Bissessar, aka Tyrant Kams, accusing her administration of pursuing hateful and vindictive policies that threaten the nation's social and racial stability. Rowley making these claims is what is so comical, you know. Rowley, the man that utterly crushed, destroyed our economy, totally destroyed, told the people of Trinidad and Tobago to wean off the government, that the government could no longer take the burden of fixing every road and doing this and doing that. His party preached the sacrificial gospel for 9.5 years, told people to hold strain, tighten their belts. This is why I keep saying this phrase. Mighty Muffin Ghanaian coal pot bicycle, no ham, no macaroni pie, PNM. Because as the PNM told people, don't fuss about the gas prices going up, ride a bicycle. Never saw Captain Coalpot riding a bicycle up to now, though. Told people, don't worry if you cannot afford cooking gas, use a coal pot. The other one, Marvelous Marva, told people, what? You may have to make some sacrifices so that you may not be able to eat macaroni pie and ham as often. Make the sacrifices. Now, these are the people that are coming around now and turning around and saying, this government, this UNC government, making life hard for people. What you were doing for the past 9.5 years? You are right that Kamla is doing utter nonsense, you know, but you are a hypocrite, Rowley. That is what you are. In a statement shared on his official Facebook page, Rowley rejected claims that the People's National Movement was responsible for orchestrating recent public backlash against the government. Yeah, even if you all did not directly orchestrate it, your PNM people outside there was only waiting for an opportunity for Kamla to mess up, which she has been doing recently a whole lot, in order to target her government officials, her MPs. I'm telling you, I really feel really sorry for Michelle Benjamin, because there's nothing that woman could do. Even if she doesn't like how Kamla is governing the nation right now, she just has to play along. Otherwise, she'll lose her job. I felt sorry for her, because the woman who yelled at her and the crowd that booed and whatsoever, you targeted the woman who's not the Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago. She has no say. You all know that she has no say. But you're just vindictive, and they decided that, you know what? You don't like the UNC, so you will embarrass this woman who has nothing really to do with what Kamla is doing. We all know that. The Prime Ministers in Trinidad and Tobago are like kings, and their subjects must obey, otherwise they will be removed. So all those who even pretending that they are agreeing with Kamla, I don't believe a lot of them are agreeing with Kamla's lockdowns and these kind of ridiculous other types of measures, the doubling of this and doubling of that, doubling of fees and fines and so forth, introduction of the landlord tax in a time where people really struggling, when all you had to do is ensure that the landlords and them pay their income taxes. That's all you had to do. But no, you decided to introduce a landlord tax. Now you're coming and still increasing a whole set of different duties and fees, right? So Rowley's statement is true, you know, but he's a hypocrite. He's a hypocrite. I'm not talking about this. So yes, the PNM, whether directly or indirectly, is responsible for the public backlash that the UNC is facing right now. Instead, he asserted that a growing citizen outrage is a direct result of government measures that have placed severe economic strain on thousands of families and children across the country. That is true. That is true. But I am telling you, the PNM people using, as I tell you, Kamla's significant errors to go after elected officials that have no choice but to just stay quiet in order to score political points for the PNM. This is not just about outrage, people. This is because you took an emancipation event to insult a fellow African woman. A fellow African woman insult the woman. You could have seen the woman was kind of way disappointed, shocked and everything, and embarrassed at the same time. She's not Kamala. We targeted her for. But you don't care because these PNM people, they don't care. They don't care about their own. They don't even care about their own. But Rowley further warned that the current leadership poses a grave risk to national unity, describing the Prime Minister's approach as out of control and calling for an immediate halt to her policy direction. Drawing a historical comparison to Marie Antoinette, he cautioned against ignoring the economic struggles of everyday citizens in favor of personal political grievances. What you did? You tell the people to hold straight. You told the people to hold straight. That we were not coming out of the darkness in the tunnel just yet. That prosperity would have come in 2027. So what are you talking about? These people, but Imbert, Taxbert laughed and say, I raised the gas price over and over again, and they didn't riot. The citizens didn't riot. The man laughed and said, seeing that they didn't do anything about it, I am going to raise, maybe I would raise it again. And I think most likely he did. So what are they talking about? You all provoked the nation to anger for 9.5 years, Rowley. You really want to talk? You really want to talk, boy? Telling the PNM people feel they have a license to be bold-faced hypocrites, you know. The UNC proving to me that they are hypocrites as well. Huh? They can't beat back the PNM when it pertains to hypocrisy. You can't. The PNM teaching the UNC people to be hypocrites. They are the founders, I'm telling you, of evil in Trinidad and Tobago. The fiery comments mark a significant escalation in ongoing political tensions between the PNM and the ruling administration following policy decisions. My response, although I've already given it here already, she adopted your heartless, weaning, taxing, whole strain, bicycle, coal pot, no ham, no macaroni pie policies, Thanos Rowley. She learned it from you. Even this continued SOE to fight crime. She learned it from you to an extent. Because the one she did in 2011 was a limited state of emergency and was for a short space of time. But she realized you had lockdowns for years. Nobody took any kind of serious action. You had a SOE for years due to C-19. Then they came and declared crime to be a health crisis in 2024 and declared a SOE again. So she realized, well, if he could do it, I could get away with it too. She is adopting your PNM policies, all these weaning taxing fees and telling people to basically hold straight. She learned it from you and your administration, Rowley. Anyhow, I went on to say both Indos and Afros are obsessed with race and our colonial past here in TNT. It's not just one side, people. But one side is still more extreme, and that is the Afro side. That is the reality. I am not trying to defend the Indo side because they are hypocrites as well. But the other side is still more extreme. Both sides are hypocrites and who only acknowledge the prejudiced nature of the other group. It is a reality. It's a reality, and now they're targeting the minority, which is the Syrian and Lebanese. As though the Indos and the Afros not racist too. Afro-PNM fanatics make it very clear to the rest of the population that this country belongs to them. They say it all the time. They say it all the time. You don't ever hear the Indo. I'm not saying a few probably didn't do it, but not the way you're always hearing the PNM tribal fanatics saying, go back to India. You don't really usually hear any online UNC activists saying, go back to Africa. You don't. And I'm telling you, the PNM people have been saying that Trinidad and Tobago is PNM country. I've been saying this for many years now. PNM fanatics believe that Trinidad and Tobago belongs to them. PNM is their race, their culture, their country, and their God. So therefore, when it is you speak ill about the PNM, they label you a racist immediately. And ungodly. They claim that you're ungodly once you attack and criticize the PNM. And unpatriotic. Once you criticize the PNM, you are unpatriotic. Why? Because the PNM is their country as well. So when they're talking about putting country first, they really mean putting PNM first. They like to accuse the UNC of putting party first and all kind of nonsense. But they are the ones that actually do it. Because they didn't care about the destruction taking place, and they still don't admit it up to now. 9.5 years later, they still don't admit how much destruction took place under the PNM. How many schools were abandoned out of spite by the PNM. An entire hospital, the children's hospital, was abandoned by the PNM out of spite for the UNC. PNM fanatics will never admit that. I went on to say they boldly tell half the population to leave and go back to India, even though East Indians have been part of TNT's population for generations. I said that either yesterday or the day before yesterday. Half of my ancestors are East Indians on my father's side. My mother is white and Chinese, but my father was an East Indian. Right? Passed away in 2001. My father's family are East Indians. Our peoples have been here for generations upon generations upon generations. We are Trinidadians just like you Afro-Trinidadians. And you want to tell people to go back to India? And you all don't consider that to be prejudice? Boy, so I said they boldly tell almost half the population, or maybe half, to leave and go back to India, even though East Indians have been part of TNT's population for generations. I think it's either he or the PNM people saying right now, even the woman said, we won't forget. I know you all don't ever forget. You all don't ever forget. You all don't ever forget the thing that UNC does. You all forget everything that the PNM does, though. I went on this, I warned the UNC fanatics that this would happen. I told you all that the PNM is not dead. It will never die. As long as there's tribalism here in Trinidad and Tobago, PNM will never die. You all were being naive for months upon months now, and I warned you all. But remember, I'm just a man with a few hundred followers on Facebook and on YouTube and TikTok. But I have a few thousand followers on TikTok and a few thousand on YouTube. But the whole point is, I don't really get no big set of views. So I'm not reaching the masses, you know, like many others do. But I've been warning about this for a very long time. I want to understand Trinities prefer to endure abuse and hardship under their precious PNM than to allow any other party, especially led by an Indo, to treat them in a likewise manner. Why I think what is one of the main reasons why PNM lost is because the base would have never voted for Zami Young. They made a fuss about it. They were vexed with Rowley for putting Zami Young as the leader of well, not Rowley directly, but you know, the party on the advice, I think, of Rowley or whatever. Right? Because there was a whole big conflict about that too. They did not want Young as the leader of the PNM. Not like the Penny though, because Penny's one of them. Young will never be a true PNM. In the eyes of a PNM people, Young will never be. They don't mind you being in other positions, but not the leader. They will never vote for you. They will never vote for you. They will never vote for the PNM in the large numbers as long as a non-Afro is the leader. I went on to say the rest of us won't forget either of you, UNC or PNM. People like me, I'm not defending UNC at this point in time either. I'm just showing you all the hypocrisy because Kamala has utterly destroyed the UNC with her merry men by her side. Roger Alexander, Philip Edward Alexander, John Jeremy, and Tanku. See these men? And Kamala? These people are PNM. I can't believe that Philip Edward Alexander ended up in that category too. Philip was a man that I admired and trusted for many years now. I did not agree with him all the time. There were things I always disagreed with him with. But I always thought that he was an independent-minded person. Not realizing that he was no different. Just a politician like the rest of them. So I will never forget either of them. And this is why I continue to tell people. Let us give another party a try, man. Let us give Bekila Pandey a try. But you see, the racists on the outside, they will say, but Bekila Pandey is Indian too, so I'm now voting for her. You see? The ones that don't vote for UNC or PNM will still say, I ain't voting for Michaela either because she's a East Indian. That's the sad reality here in Trinidad and Tobago. But what we should do is try to give her a try. Let us see if she will hold on to the traditional, original UNC values that her father founded about development and investment into the people, into the working class, into the poor class, showing compassion for the poor class. Let us see if she will bring that back in her party and really and truly revive our nation and economy again and bring some level of unity into the country as well. Let us see if she can do that. If she messes up just like the BNM and the UNC, well, then we vote her out. That's all simple as that. But let us try and give somebody else a chance, now, people. Let us give somebody else a chance.
Official weather report for Tuesday, August 4th, 2026, Trinidad and Tobago. The weather forecast for Trinidad and Tobago on Tuesday, August 4th, 2026 indicates scattered thunderstorms and light rain throughout the daytime, transitioning to clearer skies with periodic clouds by the evening. Daytime temperatures are expected to reach a high of 29 degrees Celsius with an overnight low of 24 degrees Celsius. An official alert from the Trinidad and Tobago Meteorological Service highlights that a high chance of heavy rain remains active across the islands. Gusty winds alongside street or flash flooding are highly likely to accompany these downpours. Relative humidity will hover around 78%, generating sticky conditions that make the peak daytime high feel closer to 33 degrees Celsius. Sustained winds will blow steadily from the east at around 9 miles per hour to 15 kilometers per hour, though intense gusts should be anticipated near active thunderstorm cells. Moderate seas persist with open water waves reaching 1.5 to 2.0 meters. Because spring tides remain in effect, mariners, small craft operators, and beachgoers are strongly advised to monitor coastal conditions closely.
Regional news now. The government of Guyana is on track to completely clearing the housing application backlog in Region 10, Upper Demerara Berbice, by the end of 2027. For 4 months. For 4 months. One of the only countries that we can admire in this whole Western Hemisphere in this era. He's not perfect. The finale is not perfect. I'm sure I'm going to have to criticize him sometime in the future. Just like during the lockdowns, I didn't agree with certain things that he was doing. But the whole world was influencing everyone to do that, and you take it. But it was still wrong. But in general, that man has been governing his country really, really, really well. The progress is being driven by sustained investments in new residential housing developments alongside essential supporting infrastructure. The initiative forms part of the administration's broader national effort to expand affordable housing access and streamline land allocation for citizens. In a recent social media address, President Dr. Mohamed Irfan Ali provided updated figures on the region's housing demand. He revealed that while Region 10 had a backlog of 3,398 applications as of December 2025, roughly 2,314 house lots are already available for immediate allocation. What we do in here in Trinidad and Tobago, and our population is larger though. But I mean, the country itself is much smaller. But I mean, it's still the population is larger. But still, we should have been moving faster than that with allocating, the HDC homes and whatever. They did it so differently, I'm telling you, first time around, back in 2010 to 2015. Now all I see is just a set of PNM style governance and performance, boy. Talk, and nothing else here in Trinidad. This leaves approximately 1,274 additional lots to be developed over the coming years to fully satisfy remaining resident demand. I said it on my other channels and I will say it here. My grandfather, Neville Dummett, on my mother's side, would have been so proud of the development taking place in Guyana today if he was still alive. International news now. President Trump declared that the United States maintains full control over the strategic Strait of Hormuz, emphasizing that no commercial or maritime traffic will reach Iran under current conditions. And of course, Iran and Oman talking a whole different, having a whole different conversation and pushing a whole different type of news into the public domain. But Trump believes that, he can just dominate everything without actually taking strong action against these terrorists. He starts a good job all the time, never finishes. The president stated that access through the critical international waterway will remain strictly blocked until Iran agrees to negotiate a new deal or accept total surrender. They're not going to do either. They're not going to surrender, and they're not going to accept your foolish deals, Trump. You need to remove the Ayatollah from office, the IRGC from their position. That is what you need to do, and you're not going to do it, so you're wasting people's time. The bold statement marks a dramatic escalation in U.S. efforts to apply economic pressure by targeting one of the region's most vital transit routes. The Strait of Hormuz serves as a primary choke point for global energy trade, carrying a significant portion of the world's petroleum supply every day. Restricting transit through the narrow passage could drastically curtail Iran's economic activity and limit its export capacity. While international observers closely monitor how these measures will be enforced, the administration insists that maintaining a firm grip on the waterway is necessary to force a diplomatic resolution on American terms. No, all you're doing, Trump, is making life harder for everyone in that region and around the world, including here in Trinidad and Tobago. Finish the job. It's the same nonsense you're all doing in Cuba. You're continuing to place more and more sanctions and restrictions on Cuba because of the government, while the people suffer. Instead, all you had to do was just go in there and within a couple of days or probably hours, remove that Communist Party from government and liberate the people of Cuba. You could do that. You can do that if you want. But no, you prefer to continue to suffer the people for decades in that country. If it is you don't have the will to be able to remove the communists, I'm telling you, remove all sanctions from Cuba. Stop tormenting the lives of the innocent citizens in these countries. Stop it.
Psalm 28, 1-3. A cry for help and integrity. To you, Lord, I call. You are my rock, do not turn a deaf ear to me. For if you remain silent, I will be like those who go down to the pit. Hear my cry for mercy as I call to you for help, as I lift up my hands toward your most holy place. Do not drag me away with the wicked, with those who do evil, who speak cordially with their neighbors, but harbor malice in their hearts.
Folks, that brings us to the end of today's headline news. Thanks again to everyone who continues to support my content. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe. Stay blessed and stay safe. Most of all, in Jesus' name.